F's in the chat for Drewski.
Wow.
Next clip. Oh my gosh.
That is
terrible.
sad. See the real moment you realize the angle that wrong? Yeah.
Death 8. Broke.
A level are you kidding me? This is a level 58 player? Or a level 50 player who's gonna do something fucking stupid? Is this real?
Me in classic World of Warcraft. Death 8 here for this man.
Death 8? He's died 8 times? He's gotta be doing it on purpose.
I don't know if I can play this music.
I don't think jumping. He thought he was Alliance. He thought he was fucking Alliance. Now, maybe, okay, so he's got a potion, he's got retaliation, and he's got sweeping strikes up. So if he uses sweeping strikes and retaliation, and then after that's over, he can hit him with the thunderclap here, or not thunderclap, war stomp, stun them all, get his heal off, he can maybe kill them. Maybe kill them.
For the best skin of your life now, and 20 years from now, try Kiehl's Microdose Retinol Serum. It's gentle but effective against fine lines and texture, and don't forget the SPF. This is the Kiehl's Superfluid Daily Sunscreen. It's amazing because it won't clog your pores. The two of these together are the dream team.
Everything you do will be evaluated. Not just the instruction and tests. There's no piece of information we're not interested in. We have 300 million.
Stand your ground, brother. It's over. You know it's over. Like, what are you doing? Stand your ground. Like, what is this? You can't win. I mean, it's a 55 elite. Yeah, but you've got to at least go down fighting. You got to at least try, right?
He's stuck. He's stuck.
What are you
Get out of
doing?
there, man.
Target dummy? Okay, that's smart.
Oh, no.
Is he going to shield wall? Shield wall, shield wall, shield wall. Click it. That's
At
good.
50, bro.
Don't hit it.
50.
Please don't hit it. Please don't hit it.
Something, man.
That's smart. Okay, use Tidal Charm. War Stomp. This was a mistake. It kept the Griffin in combat. Heal. Heal. Use your Okay, good.
He's smiling.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Just run away. Run away.
He knows he's going to die, but
quit
how
hitting
dumb
them.
is,
It keeps
dude,
them in
it's
combat.
Oh, man. What a... Oh, that's so painful, bro. 50 dead in Searing Gorge. I want to go back and look. Like, okay. So the Flight Master's despawned, it looks like.
No, it's not.
Oh, no. It's despawned.
No, it's right there. He just thought he was Alliance. That's all.
Spawned, it looks like.
They always kill themselves. That's right.
Oh, no. Okay. He right-clicks on the Flight Master.
He thought he was the other faction.
I don't know what to say, man. That is not what you want to do.
That's not what you want to do.
Yeah,
I agree
you
with
definitely don't want to attack a level 55 elite Flight Master.
That's so true. That was a mistake. That's so true. Yep.
I forgot he was out. It was an ally Flight Master. Seen that before. Damn. All right. First of all,
don't want to do that.
I think having
that's the kind of insight you get from being a rank 1 gladiator.
Is a very strong choice if you're gonna play.
If you don't have nameplates enabled, please use a time machine and go back to 2007. Because everybody else in 2023 has been using them for 10 years. Who the fuck doesn't have nameplates enabled? That's like somebody telling me they don't have a cell phone.
Classic hardcore. Meaning, if it's an enemy, there will be a nameplate over the head. Okay?
Yes.
Having no nameplate means it like looks just like a normal NPC.
But it doesn't, because it's a normal NPC that's a fucking dwarf.
Enemy nameplates will help a lot. Also, left click to interact, and I learned that the hard way myself. But I am pretty much used to it at this point. I'd say about a week later, I'm pretty used to the left click interact. I'm not 100% used to it, but I'm like 80% used to it, I would say, after about a week. Okay. And that's pretty crazy. Damn.
Let's see another one.
All right, so my guy's level 28, and he's...
This guy's already a fucking idiot. He's already a fucking idiot. Let's talk about why he's a fucking idiot. Okay, number one. There is literally no reason to be in this location because you have the skeletal warriors and you also have the skeletal mages. The skeletal mages right there. They do ranged attacks. And they don't do any ranged attacks. They do frost bolts. So, and it's like also, where's the mana potion? Does he have a mana potion? Looks like he's got a fucking troll's blood elixir, but no mana potion at all on the bar. He's got a health potion up, not too bad. So we'll see how this goes. He should never have been here. Also, well, actually, yeah, this is, yeah. Green mobs, though, it doesn't matter. You shouldn't, it's, do not tempt fate.
Good day to you.
Do not tempt fate. Don't do it. I died in the Iron Man challenge because I thought that I had a big enough dick to solo Cataclysm Elite quests. Until then, I was totally fine. So play like a pussy? No, you play like a winner. He's got 10% mana.
Grinding on gray level mobs at level 22.
Not gray. They should be
I
green.
probably have to mute this song. It's kind of a banger though, but it's probably DMCA.
Wait, where's this? Wait, what?
So I'll probably have to mute it.
What does he do?
So
Wait, he doesn't have target of target on?
What are they doing, man? Oh my god, what are they doing? Oh no. What a noob.
This is unbelievable.
Gray? No, it's a green mob, not gray.
Yeah.
He's low mana. I don't know what he's... Dude, you have no mana. Okay, he pulls 3 or 4 out, no mana. I guess it's fine. I mean, you have a lot of cooldowns and stuff.
No, it's not, because, see, he just procced his frost armor that, or sorry, the whatever the fucking spell is that instantly freezes people whenever they hit you. There's a chance for it to happen. So now they're out of sync. What an idiot.
Over everything. You start using... Dude, you have... Mana Shield...
What are you doing? What do you do? What is this? Like, what am I watching? Like, what? You have Evocate up right now. He's dying. That's what he's doing. Yeah.
Mana Shield?
Of all the things to use, Mana Shield right now.
All right, let me explain something real quick to the Twitch chat. A
Yeah.
lot of people seem to be misunderstanding when to use Mana Shield.
Don't use Mana Shield whenever you have 10% mana and you're fighting 4 mobs and they're hitting you. That's whenever to not use it. I know this one. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. It's like watching somebody who's asleep driving a car and the car is slowly drifting off the lane and you can see a tree in the distance like a quarter mile ahead and you can see the trajectory of like the direction the car is drifting in and you can see the tree is right here and you know that in 30 seconds that car is going to be fucking going right into that tree.
Shield
Yeah, it's the
uses your
and
mana.
it's the only tree. Yes, good point. Yes, the only tree in the whole area.
Instead of your health when you get attacked from physical damage. If you are low mana, you don't want to use Mana Shield.
Yeah,
Because then you won't have any mana to work with.
right.
And then you're going to die.
No shit.
So when do you use Mana Shield?
Not now.
You use Mana Shield
Not
if your
now.
mana is higher than your life. Meaning your life becomes more precious than your mana. Now, if your health is higher than your mana, you don't want to use Mana Shield.
That's true.
Are we all on the same page here, chat?
No, we're not. He
If
isn't.
your mana is lower than your life, you do not want to use Mana Shield. Because your mana is more important.
So wait, couldn't he just cold snap? Wait a second. Couldn't he just cold snap another Frost Nova? And then use Evocate, get the mana back, and then kill them anyway? Yes, I'm sure he's about to do that.
Your mana is going to help you live. Your health is fine here. Your mana is very important.
Pull the caster, it doesn't
Got
matter.
it? Got it. And he gets hit, and now he's whom? Health pot. Could... Oh, God. Eva 1 tick. Nice, nice, nice. You have Cold Snap Nova. Another Mana Shield. No. Oh, God. Oh, God. Nova. Cold Snap. Oh,
Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Johnny Magic.
He gotta resist! You gotta resist against a Frostbolt! Alright, Cold Snap, you have another Frost Nova. It's gonna be a third duration, but you can hit them with it before they daze you.
Get out of there. Get
See,
out of there.
he's got
Get out of
the-
there. Get out.
Did this man just put on Amplify Magic? Did this son of a bitch just put on Amplify, or was it Dampen Magic? I forgot which one is which. Okay.
Get out of there.
Wait, he clicked it.
Get out of it. Get out.
Jesus. Johnny Magic.
Johnny.
Johnny
It's a lesson
Magic.
well learned, man. I don't know. I don't know what even to say to this. Like, that's tough. Bro, at the end of the day,
Jesus
could he have played
Christ.
better during the pull? Yes.
Gamer does first AoE pull on Classic Hardcore. That's the title of the video.
But that's not even what matters.
It's Cuss's brother.
He pulls, I think, on accident with 20% mana. Let's be real. If
He didn't pull on accident. He did it on purpose. That's why he ran on top of them. And he turned around after he aggroed the mage to go back to the mage because he knew the mage was a caster.
Johnny had full mana, he would have been fine. He would have been fine there if he had full mana.
I don't even know if he was.
The real
Maybe,
issue with this
probably.
clip is he's doing an AoE pull at 10% mana.
That's not the issue with this clip. If you want the issue with this clip, that's like a fucking bullet point essay. There's like 10 issues with this clip.
That's literally the only thing that
Oh,
went
bro thinks
poorly
he's
here.
Merlin. Yeah.
That's it.
See, look. See, he turned around. See, he intentionally was trying to aggro them.
Like, the rest of the clip, you know, could have been better, but it's really just, dude, if you were full mana, you would have been fine on the pull.
Yeah.
The name of the clip is Gamer Does First AoE Pull
I
on
saw it.
Classic Hardcore.
Oh my god.
If you do AoE pulls, you want to drink and eat to full health, and
You don't want to do AoE pulls. That's what you want to do with AoE pulls. You don't want to do them. Unless you have all your cooldowns up. Yeah, you don't have to do it.
the full mana before the AoE pull. Okay?
Jesus.
Now that that's out there, Johnny, you're going to do much better second time around. Trust me, man. You got this. You got
I'm
this.
sure he'll get to level 29.
We have a level 9.
This is always a mistake because these Tide Hunters here, they put a net on you. So what I bet's going to happen here is they're going to net him and then he's going to lower them to a health pool that is below their running threshold and they will run away and aggro more mobs and kill him.
Bro, Longshore, Westfall, this
This is
quest
stupid.
is sus. I've seen multiple people die to this same pack.
Yeah.
I almost died to this pack, I
it's
believe, up
stupid.
on Shannon. This pack is scary. It's 3 Tide Hunters. You have patrols walking up and down the shore. You have Murlocs everywhere. And they run in fear, so they can aggro more when they're close to death. Let's see what happens. Rogue runs
about to
in,
be 4.
face tanks. You get Nova'd. A 4th one might pull. Good.
There it
Dude,
is,
you're
he's
so
rooted.
lucky
See,
that
that's what I
4th
was
one
saying.
didn't pull. Do you have evasion?
Watch,
You have
watch.
a health pop. You have no
Watch,
vanish.
he's going to
Dude,
run.
You have no evasion, no van.
Just what I fucking said. I fucking said it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. You called it? Yep, that's right. Bro, I played this game. I have played this game so much. How is it that nobody else has played this game? What is this?
Vanish.
Parry miss, that's his own fault. Dude, that's completely his own fault. He's using, but let's see. He's using a fucking rogue against yellow level mobs with no hit rating. That's what you get.
You gotta run. You've gotta run. That's gonna be a fourth pull. You've gotta run. Sprint.
Now
You
the
have
other
a health
one's gonna
pot.
hit him.
Renova. Oh god.
You hit the
35%
health potion.
life.
You know you're gonna
Health
need
pop,
it.
Health pop. Shift E. Shift E.
There you
nice.
go.
Health pop back to full. There's a little bandage take as well. It looks like. Oh wait, no.
He's fine.
He
He's
still has
fine.
the bandage.
He should be fine.
Still
No.
has the bandage.
What are you? What is this targeting?
Full. There's a little
What
bandage
is he
take as well. It
doing?
looks like. Oh wait, no. He still has the bandage. Still has the bandage.
What is? What the fuck? Oh my god.
Sprint. Oh, Renova. Oh god. There's no way he lives this.
I think
You're
he can
just
live
dead.
It. He can probably live it.
If you kill all 3 of these,
You're not autoing. He's not autoing. Look at the fucking bot. He's actually he's got his hands on the ground. He's not autoing. This is He's not trying to? He should be.
there's no way. Gouge?
No, there's no way. He's gonna run
Poison.
to another one.
Wait, what was that? He cleanses the poison. He cleanses the poison instantly. What a gamer, man.
I love how that's what he did right.
He might have died 7%. 1%!
Mokra.
Good day to you.
Hello.
No.
I got the best deals anywhere.
No, bro. No, bro. Like,
Right back.
no. There, he does not
He's
deserve.
no, but still.
Yeah, come on,
Bandage,
come
bandage.
on, come on. Finish him off.
Gouge?
Finish him off. Let's go. Come on. There's a chance.
Nicely done. Honestly, man, I think a lot of people would have died in this situation. I probably would have died there. I mean, I don't play a rogue, and that was pretty clutch. The anti-venom or whatever came out to cure the poison.
To
Yet-
be fair, that anti-venom was super fucking clutch. That was really impressive. That was like, it was like
Good
one of
day
those
to you.
idiot
You have a
savant
great
moments.
day now.
Like
Pleased
a
to meet
fucking
you. Interesting.
a fucking, what was that movie with like the ping pong balls? That Tom Hanks movie? I forgot even what it was. Yeah, it was like a Forrest Gump Rain Man situation where this dude is a fucking dumbass with everything else, but just somehow he has that anti-venom ready, and because he was so clutch with that, he ended up winning.
The bandage tick. He got really lucky with the reset, the gouge, the run, the sprint, the pop.
Probably,
It all
yeah,
worked
somebody says he probably fat fingered the cleanse. Yeah, that's probably true too.
out in his favor. Well played. Nicely
Holy
done.
shit.
Hi, Czar. Oh. Hello there, Blobbin. I didn't see that. Hi, Blobbin. I enjoyed the clip. Thanks for sharing, bro. Let's see what else we got. Wait, what is this? When your classic hardcore raid tries to do Molten Core. Bro, are you...
This is just. Let's look at what we got going on here. So Warrior, we've got Pauldrons of Valor. All right, decent enough gear. Nothing else really too wrong there. Got Skullflame Shield. That's impressive.
You recording with Fraps? This looks like 2004.
He's too close. He's gonna aggro the 2 mobs behind him.
Core hardcore. Okay? You do not want to end up like those 2 guys. Focus. You die, your character's gone.
Wait,
okay?
is this...
He's gonna aggro them on purpose.
I haven't seen this clip.
Or on
I haven't
accident.
seen this clip. Everyone's seen this except me somehow. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's
I
gonna
haven't
aggro
seen
them on
this.
accident.
I'm gonna pull. In 3, 2.
Is this a real clip?
I disconnected. I disconnected.
This has got to be fake.
Welcome, friend.
This has got to be fake.
Oh my God!
This has got to be fake.
All right, decent enough gear. Nothing else really too
Glad I
wrong
could
there.
help.
Got Skullflame Shield. That's impressive.
You recording with Fraps? This looks like 2004.
He's too close. He's gonna aggro the 2 mobs behind him.
Core hardcore. Okay? You do not want to end up like those 2 guys. Focus. You die, your character's gone.
Wait,
okay?
is this...
He's gonna aggro them on purpose.
I haven't seen this clip.
Or on
I haven't
accident.
seen this clip. Everyone's seen this except me somehow. Okay, all right.
Yeah, he's
I
gonna
haven't
aggro
seen
them on
this.
accident.
I'm gonna pull in 3, 2.
Is this a real clip?
I disconnected. I disconnected. Wait.
This has got to be fake. This has got to be
Sitting
fake.
on the login screen, I'm coming.
Oh my God!
This has got to be fake.
Come on, man.
Oh, he's fine. The race to Ragnaros hardcore, bro. That is so good. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen
It's
that.
obviously fake because you have to use an email and not just a name to log in. So it is obviously fake, but it's still really funny.
I'm the only
Yeah,
person in the
it's-
world who
it's
hasn't
really
seen this
funny.
clip. It was a year old. That is hilarious, man. That is so good.
Still good, yeah.
Oh man, look at his face. Look at his face. Oh my, they're all dead. They're all dead, dude.
Not a good time.
That's fantastic, man. That is absolutely
That was funny.
fantastic. So good.
It was very good fake.
All right.
Yeah, it was. Man, all right. Let's find this fucking clip where I got my tank killed. All right. This is the one I wanted to see. It's been 4 years. It's been 4 years since the Ozzy situation. Justice for Ozzy. Let me see if I can find this picture. This was literally 4 years ago, okay? Asmongold Ninja Loot. That was such a shitty move. Justice for Ozzy. Unfollow Asmond. Unsub to Asmond. Spam his stream. Justice for Ozzy. Can't understand why that dude has fans. Do you honestly think people joining Olympus didn't know what they were getting themselves into? Asmongold is a shit player and I don't watch him. They do, but that was such a shitty move. As much as an asshole Asmongold is, he is smart. For those of us that aren't insensitive pricks that lack emotional intelligence like Asmon, we recognize and understand that the person that got ninja looted is a person behind the screen that should have not had that happen to them. Anyone who ninjas should be called out for the type of person they are. For those with a moral backbone of a chocolate eclair, it makes me hungry. That's a different story altogether. This was originally posted on September 13th, 2019. Four years later, getting real justice for Ozzy. Starting that shit. Not the same Ozzy? I don't know if it is or not. I actually don't know if it is. Half the people said yes, half the people said no. I don't know.
Another mage spawning. Let's kill the enforcer first, okay?
Now
And then
this is actually one of the only, in my opinion, hard things in Classic WoW. I unironically think this pull is super challenging and really hard. This is brutal.
mage.
I'll keep aggro on these guys.
Enforcer, and then skull, okay? Or is Bloodlust here?
Yeah, but he bloodlusted. Can you dispel that?
No. There's another enforcer on me.
Should I
Root it? Yep, there
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go. There you go.
I'm fine, I think.
good.
Think I'll be good?
heals?
Okay, let's get
fucking time. And there were two things that I would say constantly. One big thing was I would keep saying, like, it sounds like you just want Sharia law. You just want Sharia law. You want to be able to tell one what to wear. You want to be able to do. Like extra governmental punishments for sin, like these, and they'd always like, no, I don't want Sharia, fuck Islam, fuck Muslims, we don't do that shit, we're Christians, blah 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 blah. And now, like 6 or 7 years later, now all these same fucking losers are unironically simping for fucking Islam, and they're unironically like, oh yeah, we actually do want Sharia. And I used to make jokes in the past too. Fuentes was the first prominent like far right person I found picking up on this, where I was like, it sounds like you guys want like really. Like, for as much as you guys are like shitting on the West and everything, or you guys shit on poor people and shit on like Africa or whatever, it sounds like you would actually like a lot of those cultures because they're incredibly traditionally conservative in terms of like family roles and values and everything. And they'd always like shit on them and we don't want to be those people and eat dirt and blah blah blah. But now you literally have like Matt Walsh here smiling like, oh, these like primitive Africans, even they know gender and they're so much more down to earth than the crazy white people in the West.
He didn't say primitive.
No, but that's obviously what they're going for here, okay? Is people walking around, okay?
I think that's kind of his point, is that, like, if the Western liberal rebuttal would be like, oh, well, we're a more advanced society, it's like, you can't say that, but also being, like, a mainstream Western liberal, because then you'll be called, like, what you're... Then they'll assume they're saying what you just said, which is primitive, which they can't say. So I think that's why he did this.
A little bit. That's probably a part of it, but I think a bigger part of it is just to show, because the conservative mindset is that the West has like kind of ran away from reality, and let's go to like some basic people and figure out like what is actually happening. It's like, well, these are as basic as it gets, like, and they know like what a man and a woman is. Like, we've lost our way, I think, is like the general point of like the conservative thing. You know?
Maybe.
Is that okay, or do you need to villainize me anymore?
How did I villainize you?
Okay.
So they say no. Never.
What is a woman if you had to give it?
Wait, I'm sorry, hold on. Do you reckon that you get so much backlash from Muslim communities because you are protected by both SJWs and conservatives? Good one, dude.
A definition.
Wait, so you really think it's the same group of people who were like the ones who were against Islam because they oppressed women and gays, who are the same people who are now like the red pillars?
Yes.
Like, you think Sneeko was anti? Oh, he was, right?
Yeah, wasn't he an atheist? Am I wrong on that?
You told me he offended the Muslim community, and then he went on like an apology
Initially,
tour.
yeah, because he got backlash and shit.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it was like the same. I'm pretty sure if you look at some of those far right people a long time ago, like the same people on Twitter accounts. I think the only big conservative I follow, she doesn't tweet as much anymore, but Lauren would like tweet shit like, oh, like these people have it figured out, or maybe these people have a good point or whatever. I bet if you go through and follow other older conservative accounts, you could find it. But the general thought for a lot of these people is that like, oh, maybe these like more. Look at all the people right now they're talking about picking up a wife in like Eastern Europe.
Yeah, but I don't see
Right.
it as the same, because same way like Fresh and Fit have beef with like Ben Shapiro, I feel like there's the traditional conservatives who are still anti-Islam, and then there's this like new matrixy like pro-Islam people, and they don't like, I don't think Ben Shapiro and his audience's opinions have changed in a more pro-Islam direction, the traditional conservatives.
Maybe not pro-Islam, but I'm trying to think if I hear Ben Shapiro ever talk about how like the East hasn't lost its way. Like, I wonder.
They talk about like the West demonizing masculinity and stuff like that, so maybe that's like the contrapositive of it. So maybe.
Matt, I want to show this to you. You're a parent, right? Okay. It's perfectly normal. It's for
This lady again.
10
Oof.
years and up.
Uh-oh.
Here's just one page I want you to see here.
Oh my God!
For 10 and up, huh?
It's porn.
It's unspeakable. what
Holy
these people
shit!
have done to our children.
I might need a
When
break.
did that
I'm
start? When was it
bricked.
decided that we need
Sorry.
to start teaching kids about this stuff at
Oh,
such
my
a young
bad.
age?
Kinsey was a
Just look at him.
social reformer. He wanted to rid society of
Straightness.
Judeo-Christian values when it came to sexuality.
Kinsey would be very happy with our culture today. His idea was that children are sexual from birth, that we're all inherently sexual creatures from cradle to grave. He believed that true happiness is found in a life of perverse sexual experimentation, no matter the age.
What came out is that his research was fraudulent.
Oh.
Kinsey based his fraudulent conclusions on data he collected from convicted sex offenders and child molesters. His research was conducted in prisons, not everyday America. He also performed horrific sexual experiments on children, some under the age of 1. His most influential book, Sexual Behavior in the Human Male, contains an infamous chart called Table 34, which documents the orgasms of very young kids, including
Jesus.
babies as young as 5 months old. But instead of suffering the consequences for his heinous actions, he was and still is celebrated by academia and Hollywood. His ideas formed the foundation for sexual education. Is celebrated
Wait, was that the actor from Taken? Who am I thinking of?
by
Or was that
academia
him?
and Hollywood.
Oh, Liam Neeson. Yeah. Oh.
How do we get from this to you can choose your own gender?
Okay, well, now we have another very important character, and his name was John Money.
John Money was a psychologist and professor at Johns Hopkins University. Gender ideology was his brainchild. In fact, he coined the terms gender identity and gender roles. And according to Money, babies are gender neutral at birth. And ultimately, environment determines whether a person is a man or a woman. And so Money tried out his theory on 2 young twin boys, the Reimer twins.
When the twins were 8 months old and they went to be circumcised, the first twin, whose name was Bruce, something went wrong with the machinery and his penis was burnt off. They stopped and didn't do a second.
How do you feel about circumcision being compared to female genital mutilation?
I think it's a valid comparison.
John Money convinced Bruce's parents to transition him into a girl. Money also conducted sexually abusive experiments on the twins throughout their childhood, including forcing them to simulate sex acts on each other.
He reported up to the age of 10 that this was a complete success. Wasn't true.
Bruce could never fully accept his female identity. Eventually, his parents told him the truth, and he chose to transition back to a boy, taking the name David.
The girls would do their things with their Barbies and things like that, and that wouldn't interest me. And things such as trucks and building forts and you know, getting to the odd fist fight and climbing trees. That's
Is there something you want to say, or?
No.
Okay.
the kind of stuff that I liked, but it was unacceptable. So I'd never.
As a girl.
As a girl, I had no place to fit in.
The trauma that he and his brother and his entire family went through left deep scars. His brother died of an overdose when he was 38, and then David committed suicide.
There was never a retraction or an apology from John Money.
Watch your
Instead,
back.
his ideas were adopted by mainstream psychology, and they form the basis of gender ideology today. Why don't more people know about John Money and Alfred Kinsey?
Evidently, there are forces that don't want this information out.
Doesn't the experiment give some credence to how bad it is to feel like you're in a different body or expression of gender? Yeah, kind of. The experiment doesn't really prove anything related to trans people. It just proves that you probably can't forcibly make it transition a child. Like, that's insane. Like, I don't think anybody would advocate for that. That's crazy. Oh, here's our website. Jesus. No child is born in the wrong body. I like that they got a very ideologically neutral lady to speak out on this. Lost in Trans Nation. Jesus Christ.
I never fit. I was an alpha female sales
You're fine.
executive that kind
Just
of
say it
just
like
didn't
that.
fit in any box.
Fix it.
I'm a biological woman that medically transitioned to appear like a male through synthetic hormones and surgery. I will never be a man. Is it transphobic for me to tell the truth? Why is it that a couple hundred years from now, if you dug up my body, they're gonna go, yeah, that was a woman. Had babies. I've had 7 surgeries.
Jesus.
I've had 1 stress heart attack.
Jesus.
I've had a helicopter life ride with a pulmonary embolism. I've had 17 rounds of antibiotics. I had 6 inches of hair on the inside of my urethra for 17 months. Nobody would help me, including the doctor that did this to me because I lost my insurance. I get infections every 3 to 4 months. I'm probably not gonna live very long.
Was there any real discussion of the risks and the side effects and...
No, there's not. And I know that people want to think that there is, but there's not. The truth is that medical transition is experimental. We have studies that said that medical transition helps mental health with kids. They've all been retracted, modified, changed. But the only long-term study tells us 7 to 10 years is when transgender people are the most suicidal.
After?
After surgery. But that's transphobic to say. Wow. For the first time in history, a marginalized group has a huge dollar sign on the top of their head. We have 5 children's hospitals in the United States promoting that. That's a bottom surgery.
Wow.
We have 5 children's hospitals in the United States telling girls that they can be boys at $70,000 a pop in a surgery that has a 67% complication rate. That will kill me from infection, that I can't sue on. We're butchering a generation of children because nobody's willing to talk about anything. I have 3 kids. At the age that they're doing this to kids, I'm not transphobic. I love my kids, and I love other people's kids, and you should too. This is wrong.
Wow.
What?
On so many levels.
That's powerful stuff. I am
Can
compelled
kids
right
consent? Do you think kids are capable of consenting to this?
No, they're not. Being a parent is loving the hell out of your kids and helping them see around corners.
What's the youngest patient that you've operated on?
2.
The youngest patient I've
12.
done vaginoplasty.
Guess how old? I've got a real one in my head. You guess.
5.
Okay, that's your guess?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Mine is, I'm gonna say 15.
Dion?
Let's be honest. The rent-a-car industry is the definition of boring, and the reason can be found in the name itself. Rent a car? The is always over a. That's why we don't offer a car. We offer the car. 6th, rent the car.
Can't remember the last time you had a checkup? Become your healthiest self with Primary 360 from Teladoc Health. It's next level care where you get in sooner, spend more time with your doctor, and get a care team that works together to treat all of you. Get the care you've been missing today.
Is age 16.
Do you worry that minors
5?
just
What's
don't
wrong with you?
understand enough about themselves? They're not neurologically developed enough yet to make permanent life-altering decisions?
Absolutely not.
A young person's self-perception, one day they may be clear, the next day they may be totally confused and not sure, and you're affirming it with hormones that have never been used in this way in the field of medicine.
You're talking about puberty blockers?
Blockers and then opposite sex hormones.
Who's right? Are puberty blockers reversible or not? My understanding is any research on puberty blockers is pretty in its infancy. I don't think anybody can say for sure what the long-term effects are. They're probably slight, but they could be moderate to severe. But there's anybody that's telling you right now that we have like really good evidence for long-term effects of puberty blockers in children is lying to you. That's just not true. We don't have that evidence yet. So it's probably something that if you want to study it, you still need to study it. But there is no like, oh, for sure, like these are absolutely A-okay. Like that's not true.
I thought they've already proven that it has at least effects on like bones and osteoporosis and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like everything has effects on bones. Okay.
Okay. I heard something like you'll start getting. your body will start like shutting down like 10 years earlier than if you don't get them, like in your 50s versus your 60s. You'll start. I forget which disease. There's like, I wish I remembered it.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But they did prove that. Whatever it is I'm referring to.
I'm sure they did.
Wait, let me look it up.
Okay.
It was like.
Oh,
There's no such
shit.
thing as a gender-affirming therapist. That's
The
a
big
contradiction in
guns have
terms.
rolled
Because you
in.
don't affirm if you're a therapist. It's not your business to affirm. You come to see me because there's something wrong. Maybe you come to see me because a destructive element of you is wreaking havoc in your life. I'm on the side of the part of you that wants to aim up, man. That's what I'm on the side of. Okay, now I don't know what that means in your case, but we're going to talk about it. Am I going to affirm what you think? No, it's not up to me to affirm it.
Like, what do you think about that? Like, some people see, like, some people think healthcare and medical services should be more like teaching. Like, it should be like, the point is to propel well-being on an objective standard. Some people think it's more like a service, a commodity. Like, you just do what's going to give the person satisfaction. But some people are like, no, who cares about their satisfaction? It's about their, like, health and well-being.
No, that's true. You shouldn't affirm people, especially in therapy. Like, therapy is oftentimes about, like, what is the most compassionate way to set up a series of confrontations to convince somebody to change their behavior, kind of, right? Like, if you're going to a therapist because you think something is wrong, you shouldn't just be going to them to get affirmation of whatever things you believe in. Now, affirmation, yeah, it could be part of a process towards changing your behavior eventually. So, like, for instance, if you have, like, borderline, the first step oftentimes in, like, dealing with borderline people is usually some form of, like, radical acceptance of feelings and perceptions of the world before you move on to, like, change your behaviors. But just the relentless affirmation is super damaging to people's minds. There is some pressure, though. People pretend this is, like, new to therapists, but it's not, actually. Doctors have the same pressure. There is pressure to prescribe people what they want because people will shop for therapists, just like people shop for doctors. Go to a doctor, complain you have pain. They don't prescribe anything. You go to a new doctor, right? People do shit like that, probably with therapists as well. Okay. I like how the Daily Wire has built, like, their own little... You don't like Marvel movies, do you? Have you ever heard of, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Heard of it.
It's cool because, like, in a movie with, like, a Marvel hero, like, another Marvel hero might come in, and you're like, whoa.
That was like a crossover.
Yeah, but then now for the Daily Wire, they can do this. Like, okay, we're shooting a documentary with one of our talent,
And then
Matt
he
Walsh.
walks in like some giant superhero.
Yeah, and then we get to bring in Jordan Peterson, who's also part of the Daily Wire. I think he was at the time of this documentary. It's like a really, really, really good media strategy. You said Candace Owens did one of these? I bet she's got in her film, she's probably got like some other Daily Wire figure intersecting in it.
I wonder who the cameo will be in that one.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's like weird because what you're saying, okay, let's say I wanted to go to a doctor to get a heart surgery for no reason, and they're not going to say yes just because they're like, oh, well, then she can go buy it from someone else, right?
Yeah.
So then why is it for this stuff they would do it just so you don't go to a competitor?
Their issues relating to the mind are a bit more challenging because generally we can, generally you can do things medically to verify if somebody has an underlying condition or not sometimes. Like I can actually run a scan. Like you said you have high blood pressure, let's take your blood pressure. You said you feel like you're diabetic, let's test your blood sugar. But like for issues of the mind, you have to ask a series of questions to try to ascertain the mental state of a person, right? It's also difficult because like people can like kind of like mind fuck themselves into thinking they have certain things. Like I know enough about like ADHD and autism and probably general anxiety that like if I were to go and take a test, I could probably test for any of them because I know like what they're looking for, right? I couldn't fake like an X-ray for cancer, right? Like I know the symptoms of, you know, like non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, but I couldn't go and fake that on an MRI, right? I either have it or I don't. So like that is another thing that adds a level of complexity. I would say that like something that I've said before, if I was a therapist and somebody came in for like a first session and they started rattling off psych terms, I would just never take that patient. I was like, bye. If someone comes in and they're like, yeah, I think that I have like, I'm worried I have ADHD. And you're like, oh, well, let's talk. Like, you know, what's your day-to-day experience? And they're like, well, I have a lot of executive function disorder. And it's like, okay, get the fuck out of my office. Like, I see you've read the Wikipedia, you've memorized it. But like, yeah. So like at that point, like their mind could get so poisoned that they might start bullshitting themselves into thinking they have what they have, you know? Yeah.
What is the word for that?
I think there's a different word. There's one word called psychosomatic, which is where you can actually start to exhibit physical symptoms if you mindfuck yourself enough into believing it.
Yeah, like I think if you tell someone over and over that they have cancer and certain symptoms, you'll like exhibit it.
Yeah, that would be a psychosomatic
Yeah.
thing. Oh, I think for the mind, if you bullshit yourself for mental stuff, I think it's called psychogenic. Hold on, I'm sorry. The last time I gave you new words, you made me look them up because you thought I was lying to you. So let me.
You misuse words like.
No,
every
I don't.
sentence.
Psychogenic is having a psychological origin or cause rather than a physical one. So psychogenic might mean the same thing as psychosomatic. Of an illness or other condition caused or aggravated by mental factors such as internal conflict or stress. Psychosomatic versus psychogenic. Psychogenic is a broader category than psychosomatic in that it can include the hysterical form where there is no physiological change in peripheral tissues, as well as the psychosomatic form where there is some physiological alteration. So psychogenic is only relating to the mind. So I was correct, you know, because I generally am when I'm defining terms. Yeah.
So you know how some people say there's a trend of people misdiagnosing themselves with autism? Do you think that could be psychogenic? Like, do you think you could actually manifest symptoms of something like autism, or do you think?
Not only, I think there's two actually horrible things. I think you can manifest symptoms of autism. I absolutely think you can. And I also think that if you have autism, I think you can make it worse.
By like just
Like this is complete bullshit. I'm completely inventing this. But like, if you're somebody with mild autism and you kind of realize that something is off growing up, I bet you can put in a lot of work. Like there's a lot of, back in my day, we had a diagnosis called Asperger's. Have you ever heard of that? It's very, very, very mild autism related to social cues. There are a lot of people with Asperger's that grew up and they sound normal. You wouldn't even know it, right? But that's because they've done so well at adapting. But I'm worried that like today, you might learn that you have like mild autism and then you develop like super autism because you're like, and somebody's like, what are you doing? And you're like, I don't know, I've got autism, so I just like do this sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're doing it because you're acting like it's not autism, you're being a fucking retard.
That's
okay?
like last year when everyone was saying people were gaining tics from TikTok or whatever. Do you know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah,
about?
or how many people on TikTok apparently have fucking DID and shit, you know?
Your pre-existing axiomatic conclusions. That's not therapy. That's a rubber stamp.
Is anybody at any point explaining to these kids the real long-term consequences of hormones and puberty blockers?
I don't think they're explaining it to the kids. So that has frightened me, that it's become, that we're even talking to the kids.
Who was this lady again? Do you remember what her title was?
I want to say clinical psychologist.
About it at 10. We're presenting it in schools.
So this generation, they're the lab rats.
Biological sex, binary. It's been binary for like 100 million years, longer than that. Temperament is not binary, temperament or personality.
So it's gender. Temperament is gender?
Well, gender is not a good word because it's vague and it isn't measurable.
So do we need it? Why can't we just say temperament? What do we even need the word gender for?
Well, I don't need it. Yeah. But what I would say is that...
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. For as much as I hate Jordan Peterson, when he's talking about psychology, he's usually fairly insightful.
That's what I was saying the other day. It's like when he's not talking about like fucking
Politics
body
or-
positivity and
yeah.
stuff. Like he's actually super intelligent. Like I see the appeal.
If they were to put different music and put him earlier in the video and give him blue hair, his answer right now sounds crazy. Could you imagine the lady if he's like, well, what about like when we talk about like gender and temperament? And she was like, oh, well, I don't even need gender.
Yeah.
Like she would look insane. But when it's coming from Jordan Peterson in a suit and it's a man and they've got the music and it's at this part of the
And
documentary.
they don't have Matt react. I was thinking that when he first walked in, like if you showed this man without any context, from the even just the way he speaks,
He
so
would look like
drawn
a
out,
crazy
he'd look
SJW.
kooky. Yeah.
Yeah. Gender,
That's what I was just
that's a
about to
whole
say.
different complicated thing. And I don't even need it when I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
But because of where it's presented, now it looks like, whoa, my God, he's
They
like
also
preaching.
bring in probably like arguably the most like sophisticated speaker on the topic in their favor, but then for the other ones, I feel like they're purposely bringing in kooky. Like I wish they brought in someone to represent the other side better.
Like Hassan.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but or like maybe not Sam Cedar, but like yeah. No, you're all right because it's like here we have like gender studies professor 1, random trans lady surgeon 2, random psychologist 3, and Jordan Peterson to like debate them all, and it's like okay, dude, like yeah, it's kind of crazy.
What do we even need the word gender for?
Well, I don't need it.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that people who talk about the diversity in gender are actually talking about diversity in personality and temperament, but they don't know it. You can have a masculine temperament if you're a woman. Maybe 1 in 10 women have.
So like this would sound crazy.
That's what I was just
This would
thinking.
sound crazy if the remember the guy
even
with
if he
was
said
sitting
this-
like that and he was talking like that. He's like, well, 1 in 10 women can have a masculine temperament. He would sound fucking crazy.
Or if they
but...
brought Jordan Peterson to Africa to the tribe to say all this.
Oh,
like,
true.
They'd have the same reaction.
Yeah. What would you say in your tribe in Niobe or whatever?
If they quoted Jordan Peterson about
if
him
you
talking
said
about
1 in
lobsters,
10 men.
if they quoted his lobster
True.
shit in Africa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Have the average temperament of a man. And you can have feminine men temperamentally. And it's not that uncommon because the differences between men and women temperamentally aren't that great. There are masculine girls. There are feminine boys. What are we going to do about that? Carve them up?
You, as someone who started your professional life, you know, transgender care.
Yeah.
I've been expecting you. May the eternal sun shine upon you.
Now you're sitting here talking to me. Are you worried about reprisals? Are you worried about how this is going to play among your professional peers?
I am worried that I can't have conversations with any other peers. I don't know.
How much you want to bet that if she has like social media, it's like all about trans people? Like that's the only thing she talks about.
Should we check?
What is? Does anybody know who she is or? Wife, mother, therapist, sex and gender. Career, gender therapist, deep concerns with gender affirming care. And that's like her most recent tweet 4 hours ago. This is a 3-year-old documentary, right? 3 years old. We have to continue hearing their stories. Brave. One thing that's weird to me about trans people, this is true of pro-trans people and anti-trans people, right?
Wait, now she's retweeting Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon, because Elon Musk's like the hero to all the trans hater people or whatever, because he's a weird guy. In this podcast, we continue to discuss and explore the implications of dude, I get bored when I'm on like a when I have to talk about like a topic for like 3 months. Okay,
Reptilian?
Yeah, Jesus Christ, do you think body count is like, it makes me want to kill myself, right? These people can go years and their whole life is talking about like the same fucking shit. Hold on, let me check how old this documentary is. I'm sorry. Okay, it might be a year old, my bad. Not so this is probably filmed
Someone
like,
said, isn't this her literal line of work? Of course she'd be talking about this.
well, is her line of work only criticizing trans people? There's not like there's other things in sex to talk about, isn't there? Okay, so these were probably filmed about a year and a half ago, would be my guess. Not 3 years ago, probably about a year and a half ago. Maybe 2 years ago, but.
You step wrong as a therapist, you say the wrong thing once and like your bloody career is over. And now it's the same with physicians. How's that gonna work? You're gonna go have an honest conversation with your physician when he's terrified out of his mind that he'll say something politically incorrect during the diagnostic process? Hey man, you're sick with whatever you wanna be.
There's a really ugly history between sex researchers and transgender activists. In the past, if any sex researcher spoke out about science that went against activist orthodoxy or particular narratives that activists wanted to promote, they would basically have their personal and professional reputations ruined. So what you see is that only
Don't you
experts
okay, I don't know
who
shit
totally-
about anything for directing, okay? But like, shouldn't something be happening if you're doing like the shot reaction shot?
That's what I was saying. It works if he was cringe reacting, but if he's agreeing,
or even if he's agreeing, he
Or
can
if
like
he's,
he can at least like
nod.
nod, yeah. But it's just like his face.
it's just nothing. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is kind of just a vanity project for him.
I wonder if they just shoot B-roll. We're like, just sit here and we're gonna record you for like 2 minutes, and then we're gonna have her
Yeah.
record, and we're just gonna like intersperse shots of you just like.
or particular narratives that activists wanted to promote, they would basically have their personal and professional reputations ruined.
Do they
It
use the
reminds
same
me-
clip over and over?
I don't know. It reminds me of that Brain Rot Politics clip where I'm like about to destroy Sneak or whatever, and then they zoom in on that one girl
the
that
girl
was off the perk.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a troll or not.
What you see is that only experts who toe the party line and say the things that activists like, those are the people who get attention, those are the people who get lifted up in the media. And also, I would say people are incentivized to go along with the activist narratives and gender ideology because that helps their career.
Trans is very cool. Trans is a way of giving yourself value, given the way society at the moment is functioning. All of the things that used to give us anchors of identity have become very fluid or very volatile.
Wait, you know it's bad when the main arguments are about the acting in a documentary. Okay, Firstly, in terms of it being an educational documentary, this is very, very, very loose on the education and the facts, okay? This is something that is presented almost purely as an aesthetic project. If you think anything different, you're fucking deluding yourself, okay? So of course, I'm gonna talk about the aesthetics of the presentation. It's an hour and a half fucking long to say essentially like 4 tweets worth of like, trans people are attention seeking, don't hurt children, and all of it is gay shit, okay? That's like this entire documentary, and I'm gonna prove it by asking a bunch of randos in the fucking street if they agree with it. So don't sit here and be like, why aren't you talking about the substance of the documentary? Because there is hardly any substance. So of course I'm gonna talk a little bit about the aesthetic of it, okay? Jesus.
Things that used to give us anchors of identity have become very fluid or very volatile in recent years. And into that context, I think what you find then is new identities start to fill the void or the vacuum. Whereas in the past, I might have got my sense of self-worth from being part of the village where I grew up. Now I might get my sense of self-worth through being part of the online community that I connect with, or part of the sexual identity community.
So now we are seeing kids that are identifying as animals going to school, and they are purring instead of answering questions, and they mean.
Do you know anything about the origin of this story? This is so fucking funny, okay? I don't know the absolute origin, but I know where it blew up. I think Joe Rogan heard about it on like an email, or a friend told him this. So Joe Rogan is on his show, and Joe Rogan says in a school somewhere, there are kids identifying as cats and they're bringing in litter boxes for them to pee in. After Joe Rogan says that in his show, all over the country, people are saying like, oh yeah, all over the country, there are schools that are bringing litter boxes for kids to pee in. It blows up, and every school apparently in the country is doing this. And then when people try to figure out, it hasn't happened anywhere, never. So just from Joe Rogan saying this one thing, that's probably where this lady is getting this cat thing on. Joe Rogan says this one thing, and all of a sudden, spinning into existence in all these people's minds are like people like, oh yeah, I think I heard this at a school happening. I heard this, and now everybody, oh, it happened in Seattle, it happened in Miami, it's happening in Kansas, it's happening like everywhere. Yeah, and it's all complete
Why
total
did he
bullshit.
say it? Did he fall for like a troll tweet, or like what's the actual origin?
I think it was just like a friend told him, and that friend either made it up or heard some dumb shit on fucking 4chan or whatever. I'm sorry, this is like one of my favorite zoom-ins of all time. Just real quick, it's so fucking stupid. I still don't know if the guy was trying to like say that like this woman is having like a reaction to my like epic roast, or it's just like making fun of the woman or not. I'm so sorry. Wait, hold on.
Oh, it really wouldn't like.
It doesn't disqualify
them at all. I just kind of want to know.
Women are willfully. They like to live in a little bit of delusion. They don't really fully want to know the truth.
Men don't live in delusion. Okay. When a guy's asking a hot 26-year-old girl how many guys you've been with, and she's like, I sucked one d- and I f***ed one dude. He's like, okay.
That's a lie.
What about you? Are you being ironic? What does that mean?
He does it to her still.
But he deludes himself to some extent.
How do men delude themselves?
It's in so many different ways. Name one. I just talked to you. When a girl is hot, a guy will f*** the girl regardless of body count.
Okay, but we know that she's lying when she says her body count. There's no delusion.
Okay, and if you told a girl that your body count was 2, she'd probably know you're lying too.
Right, but
have you ever asked a guy's body count? Or do
you have kids that are going to school and they're saying, I'm a cat. And the teachers have to affirm them as a cat.
Yes. So it's
So
not
schools
just
are like
the young ones.
literal zoos now, basically.
They are.
There's no evidence to happen in any school ever, guys.
Transgender woman. I am a wolf theorian and a member of the furry fandom.
When and how did you discover this inner wolfness?
Why'd you laugh?
Probably around
Their
age
shirt's
10
funny.
or 11. I was watching an anime about wolves.
Have you spent any time around biological wolves?
Yes.
That sounds dangerous also. What context are you?
So I was a volunteer with a preserve, and I've also visited many wolf preserves.
Are you able to communicate with the wolves?
Am I going to have a conversation with a wolf in the way that I'm communicating you and I? Obviously not. Am I going to read their body language, respond appropriately to their behaviors and their nonverbal cues? Yes.
Would you be able to give us an example of this wolf communication?
No. I'm not comfortable doing so.
Okay, all right. How exactly have...
This was like one of the most straightforward, reasonable people he's talked to so far. They answer pretty...
He's just banking on the fact that people find their look so eccentric.
I know. They do,
Yeah.
but it is eccentric. But it's funny that they're like relatively straightforward. Like, would you talk to a wolf? And they're like, well, no, but I can like tell when a wolf is mad. I'm not gonna talk to it like I'm talking to you. And he's like, okay, would you bark for me? And they're like, no. That's funny to me.
These ideas become so pervasive.
First of all, I think we need to remember that
God,
the
this
West,
guy, he looked like a fucking movie villain, dude. Does he not look like a movie villain? Like, I feel like it's like fucking, like, put a helmet on this dude, call him Magneto, and this is like, I don't know, man. He's very intense.
At least we have it drilled into our minds from childhood onwards that personal happiness is the key to individual flourishing. Secondly, we think of ourselves in psychological terms. I am my feelings. And in order for me to be happy, I have to be able to express my feelings. I have to be outwardly that which I feel myself to be inwardly. Thirdly, we're taught that interfering with somebody else's happiness is very bad. We need to acknowledge that there are powerful lobby groups, powerful cultural and political lobby groups driving this thing. Hollywood is pressing LGBTQ+ matters in so many movies. We're seeing it in the way Amazon sets up its algorithms. There are all kinds of factors in society that are pushing what would really be numerically a fairly minority interest into being one of the main political focal points of this generation.
Oh my God.
After my operation, I will be a woman.
Gender is all about how we feel on the inside and how we express ourselves.
Ah, the gender fluid teacher. What do I go by in the classroom? I go by Teacher Fambrini.
I'm gonna be totally honest. If my kid had a teacher like this, I would not be comfortable with it. I'd be like, Nathan, we're buying a different house, okay? You're transferring.
Teacher, my agenda is to show little boys that they don't have to be like as stereotypically masculine, that they can like paint their nails and wear earrings and like still be a guy and like it can be cool.
So you worry that there could be a sort of social contagion element of this?
A teeny tiny bit, maybe.
Check product availability on Grainger.com faster than this ad takes.
Looking back on it, it was the same pattern, just kids who were really struggling, kids who were very alone and isolated.
They have anxiety. They don't fit in with their peers. They don't know where they belong.
Maybe they didn't have a welcoming family life. They just got caught up in these communities online.
Then they discover, hey, there's this group of people, and they also don't fit in. They're different. They're not sure who they are. Gee, that's where I fit in.
I think this description is really accurate. I think that there are a lot of people online. I think that if you grow up as a teenager, there's a lot of like weird shit that you struggle with, and I think it is easy to find a cool community to join.
Yeah.
I think that this is something I've talked about a lot before. One thing that's really hard with kids is they have a lot of voice and a lot of power that they shouldn't on social media today.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think historically, kids are supposed to be weird when they're growing up. When you're in high school, you're supposed to be like a goth kitten with chains, and you get a secret tattoo, and you have clothes that you dress when you leave the house that your parents don't see you leave in, and you look like a punk, and you like scene kids, scene girls, goth girls, alt kids, like all of that shit. You should be when you're a kid. It's weird, and it's fine, but it's part of your like exploratory growing stage. But the problem is that like when you grow up, you can look at that and you can go like, yeah, we did like weird dumb shit as kids, because you're like acting out, you're growing up, you're discovering yourself, you're growing into yourself, right? Sometimes you're rebelling, whatever. But the problem is that now that exploratory phase has been named trans, and it's given way more legitimacy than it should be.
Yeah.
Now, rather than it being like, because if you were to tell like a 19-year-old that says, oh, actually, I identify as a non-binary Zer, and sometimes I have DID, and you're like, okay, you'll grow out of it. You're like an evil Hitler now. You can't say that anymore. Whereas if you got like a 21-year-old girl and she's like, I'm never going to have kids, and I'm only going to have 10 cats and 3 girlfriends, and I hate men, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get 20 million times. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll see what you feel like in 2 years.
Yeah.
Like you can say that. You're not being like any kind of phobia, you know? That's like that's something that because it's all wrapped up in the trans stuff, it's very, very, very hard to actually like critically engage with any of it, because you're just like written off as transphobic, and that's really irritating.
I'll say the benefit though, like in regards to that, about like propagating non-binary stuff over just like pure trans one pull the other, is like these people, I'm guessing they're seeking out surgery a lot less. They're more so experimenting with like their hair and their style and all these things, so it's more likely they'll actually grow out of it.
That's true. It's probably better for like do you know what like AFAB and AMAB means?
Like female assigned at birth.
Yeah, yeah. All the AFABs in colleges that are identifying as non-binary, in my opinion, even though it's annoying that it's after with trans stuff, it's probably okay, because if you identify as non-binary, like what are you doing? You're wearing like a chest binding, and then you get
And then like the pronouns,
like
which you can,
yeah, pronouns and a pixie cut for your hair, and it's like, okay, fine, whatever, right? But you're not doing like irreparable harm to your body or like
yeah, that's why I feel like it's fine to like encourage exploration of style. If pronouns help you explore that style, I don't think there's anything malicious about that. I don't think that should be like combined, elided with like the surgery stuff.
Yeah, the only problem is now you've kind of like destroyed the space for actual trans people. Because this was,
or you can regard it as a different space.
No, you absolutely can't, because then you are kind of like writing off the non-binaries as not really trans, and they want to be trans because that's like the cool oppressed tag to be.
Well, it depends how you define trans. If you define trans from like going one pole to the other, then I don't think it's
literally
them.
The way that it's supposed to be is trans and cis. So you've got cis people, then everybody else is trans. So non-binary, trans men, trans women are all like the same type of thing. When I solicited emails from other trans people like a year or two ago, this is the thing that I got a lot, is that like a lot of trans people, like that were trans men or trans women that were looking for help with like medication, maybe surgery, transitioning. All of the college groups that they wanted to join were like 98% white AFABs that were all like non-binaries, and they feel like they didn't have a space for them to like explore actual trans.
I wonder if that's just because it's like relatively new non-binary stuff. Same way like bi men in the past have just been seen as gay, but now that like people can like delineate between it, now they're less likely to just be like, oh, I'm just gay. So I wonder if eventually they won't. You know
a little
what I'm
bit, yeah. There's nothing. I understand that, but I think that like the bi thing, so like the explosion of people like identifying as bi, I think that's fine because it doesn't have a big effect. But like the issue with the trans stuff is that like the hormones and stuff for kids. That's what makes it so scary. Like if like a whole bunch of 16-year-olds were all of a sudden like, I'm bi instead of trans, it's like, okay, whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
But like if you're like, I'm trans and I need drugs, it's like, oof, that gets like a lot crazier, I think.
Today is the day before my top surgery. I am waking up tomorrow at 5 a.m. to have a subcutaneous mastectomy.
We're telling children
This is
when
pretty
they
common
haven't
actually, the top surgery still with non-binaries.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it happens. I don't mean by pretty common. We could look it up if you want to guess.
I don't think it's rare, I guess is my point.
If you had to guess out of how many non-binary people, how many think you have top surgery? My guess is going to be 3 out of 100. It might be really low though.
Probably. I mean, I'm sure it's very expensive.
What do you think?
I don't know.
You're not going to posit a number at all? Maybe it's like 40 out of 100.
I think getting surgery in general is low. Like, I don't know how many trans people, like even Blair White kept her dick. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
What?
That was just so...
What? My point is, like, she got top surgery because that helped with her dysphoria, but not bottom surgery. So I feel like top surgery is just way more common in general to help people with their dysphoria.
Top surgery is absolutely more common than bottom surgery. I'm just curious, like, how many, like, what percentage of non-binaries do it?
Mm-hmm.
More trans teens are choosing top surgery. If somebody can find it, let me know, okay? Oh my God. Do you know who Bill Nye the Science Guy is?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the new show that he did for one season or whatever? He had like the cringiest fucking music video ever called like, what was it called? Like Sex Stuff? Oh shit. Should I make her watch some of this? It's one of the, cause he's like, he tried to get like very, 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 very woke. I don't know why. Bill Nye decided to get like ultra woke with the show, and it's just like the cringiest fucking.
I'm done asking questions.
Oh my God.
Tanner Cross is on administrative leave for what he said about gender identity. He said he would not call a student who's transgender by their preferred pronoun.
I can't lie to children, and I got to also represent a whole community that believes in biological
Tanner.
facts and scientific facts.
The Virginia Department of Education says it is now reviewing whether the Loudoun County School District has properly reported cases of sexual assault. This comes after a 15-year-old was charged on 2 separate occasions for assaulting 2 different students at different schools.
Oh, this is the one story that they have. This was legitimately, I believe, somebody can tell me, this was legitimately fucked up. There was a kid that tried to molest a kid in the bathroom, and I think they transferred the kid, but the principal covered it up, I think. This was legitimately fucked up. But it wasn't really a trans thing. The issue here was that, like, the fucking principal was, like, covering up, like, a kid doing weird things in the bathroom to people, and they transferred the kid, and I think they had the record. I think that's what happened here. But this is, like, the one case that they can, like, fall back on or whatever. But it was, like, 15-year-old kid doing dumb shit.
I lived in Tennessee. I felt sort of like a Virginian trapped in a Tennessean's body. I identify as sort of state fluid, I guess.
This is Matt Walsh. He tweeted, "How do you do, fellow Virginians?"
Now I just got to explain to my wife and kids that we're going to be staying in someone's basement.
The
They tried to
madman.
muzzle me by not allowing me to speak.
Wow. Do you think he's gonna take it off before he starts speaking?
I would thank you all for allowing me to speak to you tonight, but you tried not to allow it, yet here I am.
Can I just, as a real quick thing, there's nothing wrong with a school board saying only local residents can speak, right? Like if a school board wanted to talk about their school district in like fucking Spokane or some shit, and I'm like, I'm gonna go talk there instead. It's like, homie, you don't live here. Get the fuck out. Why the fuck? You're a random e-celeb or a random celeb. Why the fuck would you come and talk to our district about our school shit? It's okay to lock it down to just residents. It's kind of weird that he's like acting like it's like some huge trampling of free speech, but.
Is he? I thought he was just making a joke that he's like state fluid. Did he say it's like?
Well, no. The thing is that they were going to have a school board meeting in Loudoun about this issue that came up, but they were only letting residents attend the meeting. So he leased out somebody's basement so that he could. He's technically a resident, so that he could come and be at this.
Now you only give us 60 seconds, so let me get to the point. You are all child abusers.
Damn.
You prey upon impressionable children and indoctrinate them into your insane ideological cult, a cult which holds many fanatical views, but none so deranged as the idea that boys are girls and girls are boys. By imposing this vile nonsense on students to the point even of forcing young girls to share locker rooms with boys, you deprive these kids of safety and privacy and something more fundamental too, which is truth. If education is not grounded in truth, then it is worthless. Worse, it is poison. You are poison. You are predators. I can see why you try to stop us from speaking. You know that your ideas are indefensible. You silence the opposing side because you have no argument. You can only hide under your beds like pathetic little gutless cowards hoping we shut up and go away, but we won't. I promise you that.
So brave.
So you think it's a delusion?
Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. Like, what is a woman?
Well,
can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people who...
That describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
What is that?
Was to each their own. Each woman, each man, each person is going to have a different relation with their own gender identity and define it differently.
So
you want to reduce
problem.
women, you want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals, our chromosomes, right? That's what you're saying.
What you want to do is
that's what
you want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood.
Okay.
And turn it into basically a costume that could be worn.
Days after this episode aired on the Dr. Phil show, the other members on the panel complained they were emotionally damaged by the conversation. In response, CBS and Hulu removed the episode.
They said they had nightmares,
from their
according
platforms.
to Matt Walsh, about Matt Walsh.
Nightmares. Oh, hopeful. Where are we going forward? Our call to action. Scott Nugent founded Trey Voices, an organization that helps young people who struggle with gender dysphoria. Despite death threats, Scott continues to warn the public of the dangers of transitioning children.
You don't have the right to medically transition your child.
We have no research on long-term hormone use. We will be seeing the first generation of long-term hormone use. And we already know, at least with 10 years of hormones, you're giving yourself cancer.
What's your message to parents who are trying to cope with this?
The first thing is to tell parents that they're not alone. It is our responsibility as a parent to be the frontline defense for our children. And I know with my child, a lot of people will say, was it worth it? Because you now seemingly have lost your child. And I'll say, yeah, but at least I've saved my conscience and my morals and my convictions. And when my child turns 25 and says, Dad, where were you? I'll say, I was there. I was fighting as hard as I could. I was not prepared to let this happen.
Wow. The Canadian father is currently free on bail. He is awaiting his trial in November of 2022.
Does this really matter is another question. So,
matters for those who are getting double mastectomies when they're 16.
Is he going to actually ask Jordan Peterson by the end of this, what is a woman? Is he going to answer? Do you know? He'll be pretty disappointed if they got the big guns here and he doesn't actually answer that question.
I doubt he'll let JP get the last word. I feel like Matt wants to do that.
Yeah, but then he could have the answer to that and then Matt could talk.
Why should we care if we live in a society where gender is fluid?
Well, I cared because my government decided that I had to call people by the terms that they designated, or
Sorry, go ahead. What's up?
I was already reaching for it.
I got it.
I doubt he'll have JP give an answer because Matt wants to do like the very succinct, like edgy, like an adult human female, and JP is gonna give like a drawn out answer that's more like.
Well, I know. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm thinking, which is why it'd be funny if he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be subject to legal penalties. It's like, no.
I have the utmost compassion for people who suffer from gender dysphoria. It's a nightmare for them and their families. The vast majority,
No,
up
you
to
haven't
90%
Vosh House. Oh, okay.
of kids, if they go through a normal puberty, they're going to be okay. They will be at peace with their go through families. The vast majority, up to 90%.
Okay, hold on. That's a really bad number. 90% of children that go through puberty will be happy with it? That's a really big number for unhappy with puberty. 10%? You'd think she would have said like 99%, right? That's a really low number for like 90% are totally fine with it. That's 1 out of 10 kids. But she must have misspoke or something. I don't know.
Of kids, if they go through a normal puberty, they're going to be okay. They will be at peace with their bodies, and they will have avoided
No, I think she means.
dangerous.
Am I wrong? I thought she meant 90% of kids who.
With gender dysphoria?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that might be it, maybe.
And experimental medical interventions and surgeries.
Maybe we're up against a battle here, up against a hill that perhaps, we're not going to necessarily win today. But if we don't pave the way for a win, we'll never get there.
So we're going on this journey.
Time is money, friend.
Boys can be girls, girls can be boys, men can be women, women can be men.
Where does it end?
What is a woman?
Oh.
What is a woman? A woman is someone who claims that as their identity. It could be many things to many people.
I think the question really brings up the fact that it is pretty relative, right? That if you ask women across race, across identities, across class, across culture, you will get a different answer.
Some of it is, based on biology. Some of it is based on hormones. Some of it is based on what you wear and how you present yourself.
A woman is not anything in particular. There's no one particular thing.
There is not one particular thing.
A woman is someone who says that she is a woman and transitions to be a woman.
Who says that she's what? Can you define the word woman without using the word woman?
It's actually kind of like, it's a curious question, but I...
Time is money, friend.
How is this guy a professor?
Okay.
Be good.
I've got the pause.
I don't know if that's a pwn because.
Is it a what?
I don't know